Welcome to the Action Takers podcast with Nate and JC. This is episode 2.
It's about drive, it's about power. We stay hungry, we devour. Put in the work, put in the hours, and take what's ours.
Please subscribe to us, follow us wherever you're watching, listening. It's a great experience. You know, you're going to enjoy it a lot. A lot of bullshit, but a lot of good stuff too.
You're gonna enjoy it so much. We enjoy it so much that I purposely fuck up the audio so we can do it another time. It's this is take like 6 of this episode.
Yeah. So you know what? That's how much we are dedicated to this. No excuses. Putting in the work. We are doing this for you guys to make sure it is great on par.
We needed a little warm up. That's what we needed. It was just we started working on this at 9:00 at night. It is 15 minutes past. It is what it is. It's no big deal. It's Nate. Last week we kind of teased our small viewership with a title of our very first podcast as something that we only talked about for a little bit. It was 2 Girls, 1 Cup. Is it real or fake? I thought it was a great headline. You reminded me that we talked about it for like 30 seconds and we didn't bring a whole lot of value and or kind of introduce ourselves to the actual audience who's going to be going back in the archives to learn about us. Nate, let's just give the listeners like who we are and like, why we're even doing this.
All right. I'll start with that. So I manage a car wrap company. Signs, banners, car wraps, all that fun stuff. Been doing that for a couple years. I started out just doing sales and then, worked my way up as we've grown to managing it. Prior to that, worked in a big box store for a long time doing retail, all different things in there, sales and all the fun stuff. Also, as you guys will find out, prior law enforcement for a few years. Along with my education in economics, bachelor's degree with that, which hasn't, have it, but, there's not much, haven't used it that much, which is all good, but it's there.
It's one of those things like, I look at our history and like people are going to wonder like, why the hell are you guys even recording this thing? Nate and I, like, we have these conversations. Like, so to give you a little history, I worked in law enforcement for a long time. This is where I met Nate. And we shared this entrepreneurial kind of spirit and we would just talk business. Like we'd be on the side of the road, ready to go to a call for service. And we're just shucking and jiving about freaking opportunities in the world, either real estate or whatever the hell was business or like opportunities to make money. And so we decided, hell, let's hit the record button and record a damn podcast and give you guys kind of an idea of what, little idea of the inside of what we're talking about on a weekly basis. To give you a little like explanation of what I do, I'm in real estate right now. I invest in self-storage, short-term rentals, and some multifamily stuff, and chasing my entrepreneurial journey. I started a little mailbox business, which I'm rather proud of. It's given me a lot of experience when it comes to managing customers and copywriting and marketing and sales and stuff like that, which is I'm sure we'll go over some of those kinds of things. So that's Nate and JC here on the Action Takers podcast, which is maybe a working title. Nate, you've seen the logo. What do you like? Do you like the gorilla? Do you like the gorilla in the logo?
I do like the gorilla because the gorilla is, always symbolizes, right? That kind of alpha, the action taker, that it's a synonymous with a lot of business stuff. So I think it's a good start for our logo for our podcast. And like you said, it's a start. That could change. The big thing is not the name, not the logo, but what we're gonna try and provide with value and basically with that we're young in this, so it's as far as our entrepreneurial stuff, so it's almost kind of just bringing you on the journey and helping people to start their journey of their own. I think too.
It's so the logo, like I read this book called Guerrilla Marketing, and I didn't read the entire thing. Like the reason why I didn't read the entire thing was because when they started talking about advertisements and phone books, I go, all right, maybe I need to switch to a newer book. Maybe they need to come out with a new edition. But I don't know. I just kind of I like it. It's one of those things that you go to the zoo and you realize that there's like one gorilla who's just the freaking boss, who's just like the badass. He's just sitting there, just eating a banana, just freaking, throwing shit at people. It's just awesome. I think it's funny, and I think it's it's something that's maybe a working title. But anyways, Nate? Let's dive in, because last week we definitely did not give a whole lot of value. It was more of just you and I just shooting the shit about funny things in life, which I think is good. I think that is something that people will enjoy. I want people to be part of this experience, because a lot of times that you and I talk about is surrounding yourself with people who have that common mindset and that common goal. And, you want to achieve similar things. And I've realized in the entrepreneurial journey, starting businesses, operating, being, someone that's, in that systems and processes management role, you realize like there's not a lot of those folks around. And there's more common people who just go, Monday through Friday, they clock in and hate their life. I want people to be kind of, just be a part of the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, and that's right. That's our biggest thing of not being average is taking action and not, being more than that Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, 40 hours a week. There's so much opportunity. There's so much stuff out there, to, not be average and better your life and personal development and self-improvement, which is all the stuff we both enjoy and we just want to share that with other people.
It's one of those things that, like, at least for me, like what I'm chasing and the reason why I separated myself to that, that like Monday through Friday type, that job, and trying to go out there and achieve a little bit more is like my whole focus is stop exchanging time for money and really invest in myself, a business, some cash flowing assets to essentially like one day be able to be like just collecting a check for things that I'm not actually doing, like employing people to pull the levers that need to be pulled to get those things, achieved. And for me, at least, like, I think one of the skill sets that I have is like just the ability to like motivate people to do crazy epic shit. And I think this is a good example of like sitting down and saying, hey, we're going to do this and we're going to fucking get after it. And we're just going to dive in. Like this, again, we've been after this for fucking 3.5 hours. Like I asked you like, hey dude, do you want to record this later? You're like, fuck no, like, let's get this done. And I think it speaks volumes. Nate, what is, if you're gonna tell anyone anything in regards to actually taking action, what would be the first step for someone? Is it reading a book? Is it going and working out? Is it, what are the one things that you could relay like that have helped you taking more action in your life?
Well, so I think, the biggest thing with that taking action with whatever, obviously writing down your goals, what are you trying to accomplish? And then the hardest thing that, we all battle with every day is especially if you've been doing it consistently for a long time, is that it is doing it, right? Like, man, I work out every day. Maybe I take 1 or 2 days off in a month when I don't go to the gym. But even that, it's like those days where you just don't want to go and you just have to go, like at least get yourself into the gym. Okay, now I'm there. Okay. Get on the treadmill and go. That it's really pushing yourself to take action. Reading, my two biggest things, like right now, when I tell people, I drink a gallon of water and read 10 pages. Like I walk around with a gallon jug all day. People always ask me about it. Oh man, they'll see how you could see, I could track and see how much I've drank that day. And they'll be like, oh man, looks like you're doing good, or man, you're slacking there. That thing's almost full. It's already 11 o'clock. So, and with that, I mean, that's a good thing right there, right? Like you have a clear water bottle or a clear gallon jug, you can see where you are and what time of day is, and everyone else can see where you are, right? There's no hiding that. You can, if people know, hey, I'm drinking a gallon, water every day, they look at it like, man, you've barely drink any. Or sometimes I'll finish it by 4 p.m. sometimes. And people are like, man, you've already drank all that much water today. And it's just a cool accountability, having that water bottle that I sit on my desk at work and people can see, or when I'm carrying around with me and looking, people are like, why is this guy carrying around a gallon of water? It's like, well, I got to finish it. It's my goal every day to finish this gallon of water. So if I don't have it with me, if I forget it, I mean, that's an hour I'm not drinking any water. If I go somewhere and don't have it with me. So, but yeah, 2 big things: drink a gallon of water and read 10 pages of a nonfiction, self-development book.
It's I started doing that. Just most recently, and the water thing, that's what you got to be careful, because I'm a crazy person. Like I'm the guy who goes, I could probably drink. So I drink. So I don't have a clear gallon jug or whatever. I have 4 like large cups that equal, you drink 4 of them, it's a gallon of water. Okay. I try and drink all 4 before noon, and then all I do the rest of the day is pee, which everyone's like, are you okay? Like, fuck, do you have like cancer or prostate something? Like, gee, you need to go get checked. So, but I do agree. I think pumping, like, cause shit, what is the common statistics? Like 85% of your body is made up of water. You might as well pump good stuff into it, and water is just absolutely amazing. I agree with you. Like the water thing and the reading, like just holding yourself accountable and checking those 2 boxes every single day just shows you that, 1, you can be consistent, and 2, like you're doing things that no one else is doing. Like legitimately, like 1% of the world is reading a book like a year. You know what I mean? And it's surprising. Like you'd be surprised on like the people after high school who, if you ask them like, hey, when's the last time you read a book? They'd be like, is there a movie version? Like, you know what I mean? And it's just cracks me up. I would say the thing that has changed and helped me take more action is I write down. So my daily thing that I do it every morning when I get up, and I do it every right before I go to bed, is I have like a freaking piece of paper that's got some words on it. It has my goals. It has my goals for January 1st, 2023. And I read it twice a day, in the morning and at night. And it's a trick I got from it was Andrew Carnegie. It was from the book Think and Grow Rich. And they pretty much said, like, if you read something over and over and over, you're going to convince yourself and your brain and like your non-conscious self that you're going to achieve that goal. You're going to accomplish that every single day. And it's one of those things that, like, I'm starting to, like, the decisions I make right now, it's like the garden you want to plant. You know what I mean? So if you plant fucking tomatoes, you're probably going to get tomatoes in a couple weeks. If you plant shit, you're probably going to get shit. You know what I mean? Like you're not going to get good things if you're planting bad things, right now. And I think it's one of those things that I look at and I go, take some action now, because you're going to reap the rewards. It's the tree that you plant, that you wish you planted 10 years ago.
Yeah. And even with that, which is something kind of the same thing, is like, look at what you're doing every day. Like, okay, whatever your goal is. Okay, let's say lose 10 pounds, lose 20 pounds. These actions that I'm taking, is this getting towards my goal or not? If it's not, well, I got to cut it out. Right. Like, it's with anything, it can't just be dieting. It can be, you're trying to make a certain amount of money, you're trying to get promotion, and you really start cutting out things, how we've talked about, even cutting people out of your life. Is this what I'm doing helping me towards my goal? If it's not, cut it out of your life, and stay focused, stay on track. Hey, drinking this gallon of water, yes, that's helping me be a healthier person, stay hydrated. You feel like so much better. Reading this book 10 pages a day, that's self-improvement, that's helping. Whatever this is, like I said, similar to that, is just, man, is this helping me? If it's not, cut it out of my life.
So what book are you reading right now?
Gary Vee's 12 and a half. I'm probably like a quarter of the way into that. The book I just finished before that, though, which is a great book I recommend, is called Giftology. It's a, about giving gifts, to clients, potential clients, which is, it's a real great book, kind of just an outside the box type thing that most people don't do. And it's, I found it really intriguing and really good, for the business world.
Dude, I haven't read that guy's book, and I can't remember who wrote it, but I've listened to a bunch of his podcasts and interviews and stuff, and he's really got a unique perspective on like gift giving and making a long lasting impression on someone. And like I was thinking about it, like one of the things that he said that I took away from is thank you notes. He's like, if you can't afford something nice that is going to make an impression on someone for years and keep you relevant in their mind, like the best thing you could do is like send thank you cards, which is just absolutely incredible. I'm gonna have to read that book. The book I'm reading right now, it's called the Effective Executive. It's pretty much like, I'm only like, I don't know, probably 30 pages into it, but it's just talking about how to become a leader in business, and how to like essentially like structure your life and your business to like hold people accountable and like to really succeed in the goals and the dreams that you have in business, at least.
Yeah, it sounds like an interesting book. I'm going to put that on my list. Just to take a step back too, about those gifts, and that one of my big takeaways too, was the thank you, right? Because I mean, who does that? Very few people. I've been doing that for a little bit. I've been slacking on it later, or more recently. But yeah, I used to do that at for the business I manage, is every once in a while write a little thank you note. Hey, thanks for doing business with us. But the other thing too, what he was talking about is you don't have to buy necessarily an expensive gift, but buy a nice, buy the nicest gift of that thing. So like, you can buy someone $100 watch, right? Well, $100 watch in the watch world is not a very nice watch. But what you can do is you can buy a $50 Yeti cup, which is a top of line Yeti cup, right? So it's less expensive than a watch, but people appreciate it more because that's a high end cup, or even a pen, right? You can buy someone a $50 pen. It's not, it's not a super expensive gift, but it's a super expensive pen, actually, even though there's more expensive pens. But, basically the thing is you can stay within your budget, but just buy the nicest of something that's inexpensive, right? You can buy a $30 coffee cup. You can buy, so many things that are, inexpensive or be within your budget, but it's the best of that certain item, which, except people appreciate a high-end cup versus a cheap watch, or something similar, that's not very expensive in that.
I agree.
The realm of gifts.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I've taken advantage of the thank you card note. It's something that's been instilled in me with my grandma. My grandma used to make us sit down and write thank you cards every single like holiday and birthday, and which is pretty remarkable. Like when you get something in the mail from someone that's handwritten, you're like, wow, they took some time. Like you got to lick the stamp, you got to find a pen, you got to write it down, and it's pretty incredible. And that book, and that guy who wrote it is just absolutely. If you want to help like build your like net worth, oh my God, that's one way to do it. It's and people appreciate stuff like that. No one appreciates the cheap shit that everyone gives out. Like no one wants your stupid stress ball or your hat with your logo on it. No one wants your polo with your stupid logo on it. Like just if you're gonna give them a polo, don't give them the polo with your logo on it. Like those things drive me crazy. Like, hey, do you want my t-shirt? And I'm like, not really. Like what? I'm never gonna wear this crap.
Yeah, it's a it's your logo. You think it's cool. You will wear it, but most people that don't get it, wouldn't want it. I mean, I support my people that I know, businesses. So I'll wear that stuff. But that's someone I know. If some random person said, "Hey, here's my business polo shirt," I'm like, I'm not going to be interested in wearing it. But Aloha Press apparel, definitely enjoy wearing that. But and just to pick, so to go in that, so something that I do that is effective still is that marketing, direct mail marketing, right? writing, on the envelope, writing the address, writing my stuff on there, and sending it off. Because that who does that anymore? No one does. It's definitely not a common thing. And I'm not talking about the throwaway mail you get freaking from all these businesses every day. You check your mailbox and it's a bunch of that. No, this is an individual piece of mail that you're sending to a business, to an individual, someone you want to do business with. And right, yeah, does it take time to write out their name and their address on the envelope and write your return address? Yeah, and put the stamp on it. Yeah, but it's way more effective for getting an open rate than sending the junk mail, essentially, that everyone else is sending out, that you look at it, you grab it, and you throw it away. At least, hey, when they get that letter, it's they're more inclined to open it. It works, just like anything. It's a numbers game with it, but it's still effective. It still does work. I know it does, because I have gotten business from doing it still. So it's one of those things. You talk about value. There is still value in sending direct mail individually that you have to write out, or have someone else at your place of work do it. But it still is effective. It costs $1, right? You got the envelope, you got the stamp, and you got whatever you're putting inside of it. So you're into it for $1, and depending on what you're selling, I mean, you can have a couple $100 to $1,000 return on that one letter.
Well, it's one of those things that, like, so when I left my previous career, I got into copywriting. And one of the greatest copywriters in the world, he wrote these. It's Gary Halbert, and he wrote these letters called the Boron letters, and he wrote them in federal prison, which is kind of entertaining. He wrote these letters to his son, and it pretty much explained on how to become a copywriter and how to make money immediately. And one of the things that he talked about the most, and the federal prison thing was kind of shady. He did some things that he said he didn't do, but anyways, he used copywriting to essentially influence people to essentially purchase his course or his book. And he did things kind of like what you're talking about. And one of the things that he said was, if you're going to send direct mail, you gotta figure out how to get into the pile that they open. When you go to your mailbox, you go to your PO box or whatever, you get a stack of mail, and immediately, without having to subconsciously look at, like, really filter through it, you can already decipher, this is junk mail. This is junk mail. This is a bill. This is junk mail. Oh, this is a letter from someone. This is junk mail. And all of a sudden, people literally, before they even leave the post office or before they even get to their front door, they've already got a pile of stuff that is either headed to the freaking burn barrel or it's headed to the trash. If you think your little fancy flyer that the post office sold you that says it's got a 80% open rate is absolute bullshit. If you actually go out there and hand write a letter and you separate yourself with literally just handwriting it, the possibility of getting that letter opened, read, and actually have a chance to actually pitch your shit. Because that's the whole thing. Like, you're trying to pitch something, and if no one reads it, your copy could be amazing. It could be the best call to action. It could be the best story. It could be the best hook. It could be the best offer in the world. But if they don't open it, if they don't read it, like, your shit's worthless.
Exactly, right. And it's that, just that, right? It's how can you get your letter, your envelope in their hands, into that open pile, and have them at least look at it, right? And even I look at it in the most basic form. Even if they don't use your business, that's one more person that knows about your business, right? Yeah, it's because everything on social media, right? You pay for your impressions, billboards, TV, right? Whatever. It's all about impressions, right? I mean, I look at it at the end of the day. Even if they don't use your service, that's one more person that now knows about your business, that opened that letter, that looked at it. So, I mean, and maybe from that, maybe then they'll go, because you have your social media handle, maybe they'll go check you out on social media and see how your social media page looks, or go to your website. And I said, once again, it's just getting those impressions, getting those people to just know about you, because that's, maybe they might not use it now, but maybe whatever you're doing, they might need it 6 months from now, a year from now. So And they'll remember, hey, actually, what was that business that I got, the letter in the mail that one time, versus them not even, versus just immediately goes to that junk pile and it gets thrown away. They're not looking at those coupons. They're not looking at whatever it is, because you can just tell that flyer, that postcard, that's just out with everything else, right? Like you're saying, you want to stand out. You want to get people to look at it.
So it's called. I just pulled out my file of freaking Gary Halbert letters. It's Gary Halbert. It's the boron letters. It is literally letters that he wrote to his son, which is pretty incredible. If you just Google the boron letters, you can print them out for free. It's like a PDF. It's absolutely incredible. Plus, the guy when he's writing this stuff, it's like compelling stuff. Like, it's crazy the way he writes his stories, and he outlines how to get people's attention. And one of the things that maybe you could try, and I haven't tried this yet, but he said whenever he would write direct mail, he would also include like a little piece of whatever he was selling. So he was selling, I think it was land in like the Bahamas to build a condo or a house. And in order to sell these lots that he was in charge of, he would take a little bag of sand, and he would send these people a little bag of sand to essentially say and gift them like, this is what you will be owning. And it was just kind of cool to get that extra, interest. Like, who the hell is sending me a bag of sand? If someone sent me a bag of sand, I'd be like, I have to read this letter. Like, what the hell does this mean? And I hate to say it, but it worked on me. I was in search of software for our storage facility, and I was looking at a bunch of different companies, a bunch of different softwares, and sure enough, this one company, which I ended up going with, sent me a sales letter. And sure enough, included in the sales letter, at the end of it, it said, P.S. Attached are 2 Advils, because in storage you're gonna need them, because some of the tenants that you're gonna have to deal with. And immediately I'm like, oh, they got me. They absolutely got me. Like, these people, one, have a sense of humor, and two, they spoke to me. They really were speaking the language, and it got me to sign up.
That's right. I mean, creative marketing right there, right? It's how can you stand out? How can you be different? And right there, I mean, brilliant. I would even humor. That's right. I mean, that's to help with so many different situations, whether it's sales, whether marketing. Just can you bring humor? Can you bring entertainment? I mean, bring something that's different, that stands out. Just like we were just talking about with gifts. If you're going to give someone something, have it stand out. Don't be like everyone else, and you get a far better return on it. Even if it's not immediate, maybe you got to do it a couple times, but eventually they're going to remember you. They're going to talk about you. That company that sent me sand, that company that sent me Advil, the company that sent me whatever it is, they're going to remember you a lot more than just sending them your logo, your shirt with the logo, stuff you like. Send them what they like, what they want.
So one of my ideas for direct mail, I haven't tried it yet, but the next business I buy, I'm going to try this. And the idea is to send everyone. So in the sales letter, I'm going to staple on top of it $1. I'm going to send, say 500 letters. It's going to cost me $500, but I'm going to staple a dirty $1 on top of that letter and just say, like, at the end of the sales letter, by the way, we're discounting our product by $1. We've provided you the $1, just to make it different. And maybe someone listening to this could try it and let me know how it works. But I just have a feeling like if you give someone $1, like, I'm calling that company. I'm reaching out. If I need their service, I would have to use them. I don't know. Maybe you could run with that. I always thought that'd be kind of cool.
Hey, that is a good idea. I mean, right there. I mean, it's $1. So, okay, you went from your $1 investment on the letter, now it's $2. Man, if you could get, depending on what you're selling, you get someone signed up for whatever your product is for $2. I mean, that's a pretty good ROI. I know that's a big, the phrase that everyone wants to know. What's my ROI on this investment? I mean, that's different. That's freaking awesome idea. I never even think about that. And I'm pretty sure that would work. I mean, how could you not get people to call you, at least, who's literally giving you money in the mail, besides,
I don't know.
your parents or something for your birthday.
Exactly, right? It's got that, I don't know, it's got that weird vibe to it. I just think like in order to get customers, in order to like, really like get after it, I think you just got to stand out from the noise. And going back to the gift thing, I mean, it's one of those things like when you get to stand out, like people remember that shit, and it's really incredible and it's really powerful. It's one of those things that I'm still studying. I love this stuff. I love like influencing. Like, this sounds crazy and weird, but like I love the ability to influence people in the direction I want them to go in. You know what I mean? And it's really powerful. Like once you get that skill set and once you get that like that that task at hand, like it's incredible. And especially whatever you're selling, like shit, everything, like you and I are salespeople. Like everyone's a salesperson. Like no matter what you do, like you're in the business of sales. Like if you're in the business of making money, you're in the business of sales. And everyone talks about, oh, I hate salespeople. If you hate salespeople, then you probably hate yourself. Because good God, it's all about grabbing that attention and influencing someone to do something for you, buy something, sign up for something. Hell, we're trying to give you enough value here to hit the little subscribe button, the little bell notification when you get these alerts when one of these shows pops up.
Yeah, and just to kind of, go with that, it's not complicated, right? I mean, especially in today's marketplace, customer service is lacking everywhere. I don't care if it's a restaurant, I don't care what it is. There's just no customer service. And if you the simplest way to acquire and keep customers is stand out, right? Do what you say, go over the top for them, and make, build that loyalty, build that trust. I mean, if people trust you, it's really easy. You build that base of clients, which is what I've done with the wrap company, is that we have this huge base of clients that just by providing that over the top customer service, and they know they can text me, they know they can call me, getting the stuff they need, that has built retention. And even when there is a mistake or something happens, they know you're going to take care of it. You take care of it, and they're still there. Versus when you have terrible customer service, you mess up one time, they're gone, right? I mean, people want an experience. People want, you want that. You go to a restaurant, you want to have good service. You want, a friendly waiter, friendly hostess when you get there. Like, and it's so lacking. It's so simple, honestly, to stand out and be great right now. It is have some customer service. Do go over the top for people. Give people an experience, and you'll build the base and following where you don't have to market all the time. You don't have to worry about doing all these things. It's pretty crazy when you really look at it, when you go places, how lacking of an experience you get when you go places. Because if you do provide that experience, people are willing to pay for whatever it is, whether it's a car detail, whether it's, like I said, going to an expensive restaurant, whether it's, I don't care what it is you're doing, what you want to do and spend your money on. If you give people an experience, they will keep coming, and then you don't have to worry about, spending all this money on advertising and marketing, because people, people are going to come, people are going to talk about it, and you'll have a consistent customer base.
Well, and I mean, everyone focuses on that new customer. And once you've earned that new customer, like cherish that thing. Like it's so much cheaper to just go into your database and just go into your list of customers and just resell them. Like if they're happy with your product, they're happy with the way the service you provide them, like it's so easy to get them to sign up for another service. They're already comfortable. You probably already got their credit card information. It just streamlines everything. And it makes, like you said, like it makes that base of customers so much easier. And it's easier just mentally, like to be able to have that base of good, solid clientele, that you can draw from when things are a little slow, when things are a little rough, when Facebook triples their price on cost per clicks. I mean, it's just one of those things that you got to really focus on.
Yeah. And it's crazy how many people don't want to focus on that, don't want to And even that, right? I mean, a waiter or waitress, you want to make more money, um, provide a great experience. You always see those things. Oh, if you can't afford to tip, don't go out to a restaurant. That's just an excuse for people that don't want to provide good customer service and a good experience. If you don't get a tip, that's a direct result of you not putting in the work and the effort to give that over the top experience. Because I'll tell you what, I've gone to a couple, really nice steakhouses here in the area. Like, you're talking over $100 a plate, and those the place is packed. The people that are working are giving you the best. It's an amazing experience, and you're more than willing to not only pay that, give a good tip, and do all this stuff, because it's like, man, this is an amazing night. It's so far and few in between where you get that an experience like that. When you do have it, you're more than happy to provide a tip and to talk about it and go back. Like, and that's what I think a lot of people don't realize, is that no matter what, whether it's being a bartender, whether it's all those people are salespeople, right? A waiter, waitress, what are they doing when they come and take your order? Yeah, you're ordering a food, but essentially they're selling you too. Like, they talk about the specials or what's going on or recommendations. That's all sales, right? They might not look at themselves, but they're salespeople. And you work and do what you need to do, you're going to make more money, right? And you're going to spend that time at that table, no matter what, that hour you're with those people. You can either get a $20 tip, a 40, 60, how hard do you want to work and put in that effort and provide a good experience, and you're going to make more money for that same amount of time.
I agree, man. It's I mean, talking about how to influence people and how to really like get after it. I saw this article earlier this week, and it's crazy. Like, in the world that we live in, like, social media is so like just so prevalent, and it's one of those things that, like, we start chasing these things. Did you see this thing where they're having influencers fake riding in private jets?
You know what? Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
Dude, it's this guy built a studio down in LA, and he's got a freaking setup. It's a fake jet interior. It's incredible.
Yeah, I saw some pictures of it, and it looks legit, and great business idea, right? Filling a need, find a need. People want to take pictures. They want their Instagram to look cool. They want to look like they're riding a private jet. Well, hey, you can go here, spend the money, and get those pictures you want. Definitely reminds me, though, of some people that have gotten called out that were traveler influencers, and they were taking fake pictures of places they didn't really go to. So you always got to watch out for that. But you want to talk about business ideas and doing stuff, there's a need for everything.
Oh my gosh. I as we're talking about like customer service and like how to get customers and stuff, like, this just shows you like how easy it is to influence people to make decisions, like to follow you, to be able, and then most of it's fake. Oh my God. I saw this and I'm like, good golly, like, this one incredible business model. I mean, this guy's making he's just printing money. But the one thing I wanted to touch on was like just the pure fakeness about the people that we idolize. And I think it's something to be said that, dude, you can't rely on what is on the internet. Like, it's just incredible. Like, people posting cool badass shit. What kind of filters on that? Like, what, how many photos did they have to take before they got that perfect shot to post on the gram?
Yeah, or even that, like I said, it's people. We all do it. I do it. You post what you want people to see. I post my meal preps, or I try and have really gotten into the thing of what Gary talks about, of documenting, right? Because if you're just documenting, I mean, it's a little bit more real. You're still, I know most people are still documenting with a filter, right? You're still you're posting the good stuff of your day, and so maybe not the bad. Post the meal prep you ate and not the In-N-Out burger you ate. But it's, you still filter it, but at the same time, it is. We all do it. We're all doing that, of posting the highlights, not the things that we're not so proud of.
Well, it's one of those things that I think it's going to get incredibly more popular to start posting things that are more relevant. like so much more connectivity. Like the posts that I've made, and I've tried to make this conscious effort of like posting more and really like the Gary Vee thing where I'm trying to document things in my life. Dude, I think if you want to grow a following, I think, like, to be honest with you, I think if you're more honest and upfront and less filtered, dude, I think it's way more relatable. And I think just from my experience alone, like, I get way more comments, way more DMs when I post like real shit anytime when I'm, I'll post a picture from Hawaii and people are like, cool, like, fuck you. Like, really? Like, I'm eating a cheeseburger nowhere near bathing suit shape, and you're posting this shit. Like, I think I don't know. I think it's more relatable, and I think shit like posting pictures of fake private jets, God, I think that shit's just gonna go away eventually.
Yeah, I mean, it's only going to last so long, right? Because as that is, I'm sure people are already getting called out for it. People are already finding out about it. So it's probably going to be, one hit wonder. It's going to last for a little bit, but it still just goes to show you that there are so many things that there can be for business. I mean, whatever it is, whatever you think that might sound silly, there's probably someone that's going to pay for it, no matter how silly, how crazy, the fake jet, interior of a jet, people want to pay to take photos in it.
Dude, so I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this picture right now on this site of this set, and it's like not even well done. It's like two like lazy boy recliners and like a mahogany like desk, and it's got some like windows. It's like the shittiest jet I've ever seen. Which just got me cracked up. I'm seeing these pictures, and I'm like, I've been on a private jet. I haven't flown private. I've been on a private jet in the sense of like I helped a buddy clean one once. God, this is fake. Oh my God, I love it. It's a great business opportunity, but oh my gosh, it's not great for the followers. Um, Speaking of followers, Nate, I mean, we went on this journey of taking action, the podcast and stuff, and it seems like the personal brand is it's needed. It's needed so much nowadays because I think a personal brand, like, it's just jet fuel for like whatever you're trying to do in life. What do you think about the personal brand? Are you going to make an effort? Like, what are you doing like to grow that personal brand, or is it even something that you're working on?
Yeah, I mean yeah, I mean, so personal brand is, I forget what book I was reading and who was talking about it, but personal brand is just another word for your reputation, right? Before social media, your personal brand was your reputation. What do people know you for? Now, everyone can see you. You're out there on social media, so it's transition from reputation to personal brand. But yeah, I mean, I'm working on it. It's what you're about, who you are, what you stand for. So, and we all, whether you have a few followers or a couple hundred or thousands, everything you do is your personal brand, who you are, what your tribe in a sense, right? Who follows you and why they follow you, or why, who's in your circle. Or, so yeah, I mean, I'm working on it. It's it's been growing slowly but surely, my social media, but and I've definitely, as I've learned more, try and post things that people can get value, like, the books I read, I post those and for ideas, because there's a lot of people that do want to read books and hey, man, could be 4 or 5 books I post that no one's heard of, and so that's providing value, or maybe something motivational, or something at the gym, right? Like, I know a lot of my stories, it's redundant, but it's at the gym, and the reason I'm always posting that is the consistency. People say every single day, God damn, he's always at the gym. But you want to change your life, you want to take action, you want to do things, you got to be consistent. You got to do those things that are monotonous, that are not fun, that are boring sometimes. But if you want to change your life, you got to do them day in and day out.
Dude, it's one of those things I gotta work on. Oh my gosh, I go through these freaking mountain and valleys of freaking posting. I I don't know how I don't know how people do it. And I know how they do it. They just make it a priority. And it's one of those things that, man, I got to take some action in regards to it, because there's people out there who spend a couple years working on their personal brand and posting every single day, growing their following, their audience. And these people are just, God, they just have a platform to sell on. Like, if you're going to launch a podcast or a newsletter or a new business, like, you have that customer base and you're able to just like go, hey, this is what I'm doing. And people just jump on. They already know about it. And it's, dude, it's one of those things that in 2022, I'm going to grow that personal brand. I think, I was listening to Brad Lee earlier this week, and he gave a structure. He's like, this is how you do it. You gotta post twice a day on Instagram. You gotta post one day on Twitter. You gotta post one time on LinkedIn. You gotta post one thing on YouTube, and then TikTok and the videos. I mean, you gotta keep uploading. And one of the things that he said was, because you have to have a constant like flow of content, because you can't be searching and always trying to create new shit. And one of the things that I took away, he goes, just make it just start telling the story about your day, your life. And I don't know, it hit home with me. It was like, fuck, there's so many things that you could just, I mean, it's in your pocket. Your damn camera's in your pocket. Your freaking microphone's in your pocket. Grab your phone and just start recording stuff, and then just start posting it. Because God, I think it's just fuel for the fire.
Exactly. Right. And just knowing that it doesn't need to be perfect. Right. I mean, boom, turn it on, record, post. The production value of stuff is cool. There's, but most of us don't have a team like Gary Vee or whoever that can put all this cool stuff together. But at the same time, people want to see real stuff. So yeah, I mean, just put that camera on yourself and record whatever it is, or record what you're doing. Take some pictures of what you're doing and get that going. Yeah, my biggest thing is there's Instagram, there's Twitter, there's Facebook, there's LinkedIn. I forget sometimes, sometimes I'm very Instagram heavy, but man, there's so many social media. I mean, you can literally spend a couple hours posting, doing things, creating content easily every day. And then you can get sucked into, and unfortunately start, scrolling and swiping on things and looking through stories. But if you can set time and dedicate, hey, I'm going to spend 30 minutes, get my post out. I think it can be very beneficial.
That's one of my goals. So Nate, it's been a pleasure. This is episode 2, part 2. As we hit record a couple times. I mean, walking away from this episode, I mean, what is the one thing that people could do tomorrow to take action?
Like I said, to get going on the right step, I'm gonna keep hitting on it. Start drinking more water. Get hydrated. You'll start feeling so much better. And start reading. And I mean, reading, putting that good stuff in your body, whether it's mentally reading, drinking water for to feel better physically. Those two things, and just do it. Just whether it's the gym, whether it's putting in a little bit more time at work, you just got to do it. Put yourself in that situation, and once you're there, you'll start doing what you need to do, whether it's at the gym or going in 15 minutes early at work or whatever it may be.
It's I'm with you, man. It's one of those things that whatever you want in the world in like 6 months, it's like just start doing the work now and you'll achieve it. It's incredible on what time can do for you. It's pretty remarkable. So Nate, let's wrap it at that. It's really appreciate it, buddy. It's been fun. This has been a hell of a journey. We're learning on the way. If you guys are listening to this, do us a favor, hit the like button, subscribe if you enjoy this content. And next week I'm sure we got some other hotness that we'll chat about.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's always stuff going on.
All right, buddy. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Later, buddy.
It's about power. We stay hungry, we devour. Put in the work, put in the hours, and take what's ours.